And when I get there, when I'm good, then, you'll see. And it'll be good,
And when you're in early recovery, they're going to be haters.
Oh, my God. It's so ridiculous.
They're out there. And
yes,
it's kind of like, and I've used this before, but do you know who Josh Hamilton is?
The actor?
No.
Josh Hamilton.
Baseball player.
Oh, okay.
He played with Texas. Well, he was drafted by the Cubs, and they traded him to the Reds. He did pretty good for like half a year, and then he went to Texas, and he was blowing up, man. And the reason why the Cubs got rid of him was because of his substance use.
Oh, okay.
And same thing with the Reds. Like, too hot to touch. He's a great ball player, but it's too hot. We can't touch it. And he was like, the baseball had set down like these strict guidelines of can't do this, you can't do that. And he actually had a guy that went with him when he was at Texas that would just follow him everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
And he went to the home run derby. It was, I think, the last one at the old Yankee Stadium. And he knocked him out of the park. He was killing it. Like, he had hit the most home runs in one inning than anybody. Right. It was just insane watching him just crush it. And just that stage of people, like, oh, he's in recovery. And, it was just great.
Yeah.
And then, like, a year later, he's on a bar dancing naked, and it's like they build you up to bring you down.
Yeah.
Like, as many people that are out there going, wow, that's great. There's so many just rubbing their hands together going, oh, just wait for it. And then, boom, I told you he was a drunk.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to bring down the whole ball club. And, they jump on you, and I feel bad for Josh for that.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be hard being on that national stage like that. And then everybody just coming out. People don't know you.
Right.
They don't know what you're struggling with, and they're all pointing fingers at you.
Yeah.
And making fun of you, putting
We're all
memes
human.
together. And,
yeah, absolutely.
That's got to be very embarrassing, but some people say, yeah, but he's a professional athlete. He deserves that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he deserves that, because a minute ago you were praising him about how great he was and his overcoming the things, and it's not done. It's a lifelong process.
Oh, absolutely.
We know that. We're in recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
Just one drink for us, and I think it would be over. But anyway, back to that though. The haters, when you're in early recovery, they're going to be out there, but you got to push through that. And like you said, say you're going to do something, you got to show them that you're doing it, and it doesn't matter how crazy it is. Whether, hey, I just want to have I want a job, I want a car, I want, I'll be back in North Carolina by October. Those are obtainable goals. Marnie, yours was to hook up with Corey Winfield.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Be engaged to Corey Winfield, to live with Corey Winfield.
Checked all them off, baby.
Check.
Check.
Just kidding. I don't think those are your goals. I think it was just like to sexual relationship.
Oh Lord, there he goes again. Yeah.
But my goal, start a podcast, do this, and then so many people, who does he think he is during the podcast? And like I said, that guy, the meeting was like, people shouldn't be talking about their recovery until they got 5 years. I'm like, yeah, they should be talking about their recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why are we hiding it?
Those are the people that you learn from.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is different degrees to it. I mean, I honestly, at first, I wasn't shouting it from the rooftops, like, oh, I'm in recovery. It's something that, and then I did start, after a while, I would bring it up, and I've had people look down on me for it, and I'm like, oh, I haven't drank or did drugs in 8 months. I guess that's a bad thing. No, that's not a bad thing.
No.
Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? But for me, it was more just learning, because anybody that's in recovery, I mean, it goes deep. It goes so far back, so there is so much to learn about it. And that's kind of what I really appreciated and got. It's like finally digging into some of the issues and learning about it, so that we don't repeat these things don't get passed on to our children or other, family members.
Or at least we know how to treat it when
we can help.
When they come to us, we're not like, oh, you dirty bastard.
Right.
I saw somebody like you in a movie once.
Yeah, exactly.
You're scum of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. You're the devil. No.
And 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, whenever I was in the hospital, whatever, I don't think I wouldn't have, clearly I wasn't ready. Like, I was on the radio and I still wouldn't, I was just like, oh, the doctor gave me some bad pills and it shut my liver down.
Right.
Okay.
It's your story. I'm gonna let you tell it the way you want.
Right, but I wasn't ready the first time. So if you're going through it and you're just kind of like, oh, people can't know, and it gets easier. But again, look in the mirror at the person you are today, and look at that person. If you got some clean time, look at that, and just tell yourself that you don't have to go back to that life anymore. You don't have to do that. And I was a slave to alcohol. I was in love with alcohol. So much that I put it above everything else. just about.
Yeah.
I put it above my relationship with my family, my cat, Nico.
Oh, neat.
Because I would end up leaving her, like if you told me, if you drink that, you're going to have to go away for a week or two for rehab.
Right.
Okay. Like, I don't know, like who does that? And, well, addicted people who suffer from addiction do it. But yeah, alcohol, I put like this shield around it, like I've said many times. And it's crazy how we'll do that and not even realize we're doing it. Anybody would talk bad about alcohol. Well, and I would defend it like it was like a wife of mine, or like I would, like it was my precious. And don't you dare say anything about my alcohol, or I won't answer when you call.
Right? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
But I don't have to live that way anymore.
Nope. It's amazing, right?
I tell our waitresses from time to time when they ask us,
Yes.
"Do you want to see the wine list?"
Yeah. The waitresses, I don't have to live like that anymore.
Oh my gosh,
I
she's
love
probably
that.
like,
The lady
I'm
that
just
looked at
trying
him
to get some, get an extra tip, get a bigger tip. She's trying to
like,
run the bill up.
okay.
Yeah, thanks. She's like, thanks, cheapo.
I don't plan or anything. It's just like they'll be like, "Oh, you guys want to start off with some," and I don't know. Like I just say things sometimes randomly. I said that maybe once, I think, and Marty just was like, "Oh my god, like, you don't have to tell everybody, man." Like,
She had to broadcast it to the world.
No,
Podcast.
it was just a funny situation of how she responded to it. You could have just said, "It's fine." It was just how she looked at us.
Yeah.
She's like, "Whoa, okay." Like, all right, he doesn't have to live like that, and I'll put this away.
Right. Let me get this out of the way.
I don't want this wine bottle in his face anymore.
Right.
God knows what I'll do.
we left, and she was probably like, "I really hope they didn't go to the liquor store.
Right. They
Right.
I
probably
hope I didn't
stopped.
cause a relapse."
Oh no. Trigger alert.
Yeah. So, Marty, since you hosted a podcast for the first time last week after losing to me in fantasy football really badly, do you want to do any more hosting skills tonight?
Oh, hosting skills,
Is there some
right.
stuff that you would like to
No,
talk
I mean,
to?
I'm glad we had an opportunity to have Shannon on. She's been on me for a while.
I mean, yeah.
But she's a very avid listener and keeps up with everything, and
Yeah.
I
I was quite determined about making a appearance on your show, Corey.
Nice.
Yeah, I really wanted to come say hi.
No, but I knew she'd have a lot of good things to say. She's one of the women that I've seen grow a lot, since I met you. And like you mentioned, you were in treatment. We met when you were in treatment. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have really that much of an opportunity to get to know each other that well while I was there because of my shift.
She worked nights, and I was sleeping at night. I'm not trying to be awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were several opportunities that we kind of touched base, and that's kind of where I talked a little to you about transitional housing, what it was, and the opportunity that was available. And you picked it up and ran with it. I mean, I just kind of like dropped a hint about it and talked a little bit about what it was, and it seemed like it was something that fit for you. And next thing I know, I ran into her on the other side of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And yeah, she's done everything she said she was going to do with her goals and so on.
Yeah.
And one time I remember I walked in, you had called me earlier in the day, something, and you were upset about something. Mm-hmm. And I walked through the back way, and she's in this beach chair, like staring at the sky.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, I hope everything's all right. And she was meditating.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That is one thing that I did learn or picked up in treatment was meditation. And it's amazing. It really is. Like, my mom was one, she's kind of an athlete, and or she is an athlete, marathon runner and all that. But she was always one for visualization. She taught us that at a young age, and so that was one thing. But then when I went to treatment and picked up on meditation, those two things together, visualizing something and then meditating, being able to calm your mind down or focus, or just try to bring the stress down or what have you, were just so helpful to me. Just amazing. But yeah, she did. She walked in on me and I was crying like, oh, But it ended up, and that was when that started. We don't have time for all that, but that started the feather situation where I was finding feathers everywhere.
Sexual What kind of? Let's talk about the feathers. We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about feathers now.
Well, it depends on what you believe in, right? So I know I just from listening to your podcast, angel numbers, signs, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm a big one for signs. And so I was that time she saw me, I was really upset, stressed, low, sad, very lonely. I don't have anybody in Traverse City here. So I've been kind of just, sitting in things by myself. And I was really sad, and I was kind of thinking or praying, however you want to, look upon it. And then I found a feather on the ground, and feather is a sign usually that, you have a guardian angel with you, And when I saw the feather, I just knew. I don't know. I know things pop in my head like that sometimes. So I knew that was a sign, and I kind of acknowledged it as, okay, I get it. It's a sign. I'm not alone. And I actually went on a adventure that day, and I literally had found 3 different feathers in my path, in different places in Traverse City, and it was tripping me out a little bit, but it was confirmation to just stay strong. And even though I was sad and alone and what have you, that, you just got to keep on. You're on the right path, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your head up, and, don't stop, So
I think you called me and you said, you went, blah, blah, told me exactly what you just said about finding them. And you said, and that's telling me that I'm exactly where I need to be right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just had chills. It was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And some people, it just depends on what you believe in. Some people might not believe in that. They might think it's corny. But I do, and I can show you, I have a bag of feathers now, a Ziploc baggie. And when I say, it's not like I'm walking along the beach and there's 50 million feathers. Okay, these feathers are in my path. I'll be walking somewhere. I'll sit down and there's one right there. They're basically placed there. And then you go to the angel numbers, which my angel numbers have been crazy right on, and they've all saying the same thing. And it's like, keep going, just keep going, girl. Don't give up, don't stop. You're basically right at the, where your life is going to change, And I mean, it's just been really, sometimes it's a little bit freaky with the angel numbers. You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah. Really freaky. But
how do you do angel number? Because I just did the 217 angel number. I had someone reach out. And they're like, "Have you seen that? That's creepy." And I'm like, "What?" And I looked at it. I'm like, "Oh my god, that is creepy."
Well,
that's how true it is.
Okay, so I'll just tell you. So I'm an empath. I am an empath. I don't know if you believe in it. Some people do. Some people don't. So I'm empath, meaning I'm sensitive to people's energy and sensitive to a lot of stuff. Okay. But angel numbers can pop up, and as a matter of fact, they popped up affecting with you and Marnie in the podcast too, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you, so when I had been visiting my sister in Grand Rapids, and I went to go get gas, and I went to the gas pump, and I just happened to look, and I saw the gas pump was number 9, okay? And then, so I noticed, I'm at pump number 9. So then I went in to wait, and while I'm trying to pay, I look, and then I kept seeing like 99999, 99999 on price tag. And I'm not searching for them. I'm just turning and looking, and they're there. You know what I mean? So, and it was, that time it was weird. I'm pretty sure it was 999. There was like 333, and then I had remembered something else, and I had told Marnie, and I had gotten in my car, and I was thinking about asking if I could come join you guys. I don't know why. This thought popped in my head, and I was like, I think it'd be really cool. I want to do that. And that was right when I saw those numbers. Then I went back when I got home, and I looked up those numbers, and it was saying, basically it was something new that I was going to try to do something, basically just be strong. So it's like that. You can look at the clock, and the clock might say 111. A lot of people say 1111, or yeah, and it just once you become tuned into it, then you'll start noticing it more. At first you probably don't. And if you're just maybe like, I don't know, with me, I might be distressed or like sad and just like, worried about something, you know what I mean? And I might say a little prayer or just a little, thought to my guardian angels or, my Nana up in heaven, my papa, my people, you know what I mean?